I'm very honored to receive this prestigious award and consider it a privilege to be in the company of both current and former Kemper Award winners, many of whom are here this afternoon. I'd also like to thank the Executive Committee and the True Last College of Business for nominating me for this award. I have several of my colleagues here, and I appreciate it. I also want to thank those who came here this afternoon to help me celebrate my good friends, Ann David Morton, Gary and Patricia Coles, my wife, Linda. And I want to thank someone who is not here today, my former professor and mentor, Dr. Lynn Abercrombie, who is the person responsible for my being a teacher. I was working as an administrator at the University of Tennessee and received a call from Dr. Abercrombie, who was the chair of the marketing department at the University of Memphis. He asked me if I wanted to teach an evening course for the university. I said no. I was not remotely interested in teaching. But Dr. Abercrombie was nothing if not persistent. And so he asked me to think it over. He called me back several times. He just wouldn't let it go. Each time I gave him a reason why I had no interest in teaching. But he refused to take no for an answer. He just kept insisting that I teach this course. Finally, I relented and reluctantly agreed to teach the class. Why did Dr. Abercrombie think I was a good candidate for this position, despite the fact that I had no teaching experience? Because he knew that I loved to learn, that I'm passionately curious, and have a desire to impart knowledge. For these reasons, he believed that I would find my calling in teaching. He did not worry that I would fail, because he thought that if you really like what you're doing, it doesn't matter what it is, you can eventually become a master of it. But the only way to do great work is to love the work you do. This was one of the most valuable lessons I ever learned, and it made all the difference in my life. I've been a marketing professor for over 32 years. And if all I've done is teach my students about marketing, I haven't done enough. Instead, I hope I've taught my students the same lesson that Dr. Abercrombie taught me. The importance of doing what you're passionate about. Students will often come to me and say, I'm getting out of college and I have the faintest idea what I want to do. So I ask them, what do you desire? How would you really enjoy spending your life? That if getting money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. You will be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living so that you can go on doing things you don't like. That's crazy. I tell them it's better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way. There have been many memorable moments in my career. The phone call from Dr. Abercrombie, of course, my first class, the first time I taught overseas, the day I wore a mismatched pair of shoes to class, the day I was surprised with the Kemper, and the day I was reminded of how fortunate I am to be a teacher. It was the day I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. I remember after getting over the initial shock of my diagnosis, telling my doctor that I had to teach. It's what I do, that I was not ready to step away from the classroom, that this wasn't part of the plan. But of course, plans sometimes go awry, and mine certainly did. But while we can't always choose our realities, we can choose how we deal with those realities. In his autobiography, Lucky Man, Michael J. Fox writes, happiness is directly proportional to acceptance and inversely proportional to expectation. While it hasn't always come easy for me, I've come to accept the life that I've been given, as opposed to the life I expected. I've also learned to not take for granted the opportunity I had to teach others. Instead, I consider each day I have an opportunity to teach, to be a gift, a true blessing. Again, thank you for this